you.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to call the Jeff Davis Parish Economic Development Committee meeting, agenda meeting order. Mr. Easton.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So we called this because Ben's has been talking with Congressman Clay Higgins' office, and we've got a potential to obtain some money through his office, and we've got two projects that I think we're only going to apply one, or we're going to
I would only apply for one.
for one, but we've got two projects. We want to see what y'all thoughts are on it, and then what we're going to do, because the time frame is short, we would like to approve it, whichever one we go with tonight at the agenda meeting, so that he can proceed, because it's due before the
March
next.
9th.
Yeah, on the 9th, and we won't meet again until the 11th. So, but I'll turn it over to Ben so he can tell you the two projects that we're looking at.
So though the project is not limited to the two I have, I'll talk about briefly. I think they are two that kind of meet the criteria. The basic criteria is something that's shovel-ready, that would benefit the community. Things that they look for is a need, that you could point to a need, whether it might have been in the newspapers or others in the community could attest to that being a need. And ultimately, we'll have to get letters of support from local leaders and other groups to support this project. So with that in mind, one was that we talked about or thought about was the event center, previously known as the multipurpose building. This event center is used by the community for a lot of nonprofits, from 4-H to other organizations. It has been recently used in the last 2 years as a warming shelter. We have gotten a lot of notice on social media that we could probably capitalize on in the application. It is used throughout the year for service related to veterans. And one of the things that is badly needed is specifically for those veterans would be some handicap type parking. And so as part of this proposed project would be to asphalt the parking lot and to do some improvements in the event center itself, including some flooring, to change out the facade, some new doors, lighting, painting, and redoing that front kitchen. So for planning purposes, probably around $1.4 million. That would be if we did these grants or appropriations will require a match. So out of that $1.4 million, we would need to come up with around $282,000. And so that would be something that the police jury would probably consider. Probably special revenue as a source, and the front page it shows a breakdown. At the bottom it says special revenue. It kind of shows what we have in the account and in our lamp, and $282,000 would kind of impact that balance. The other
So, Ben, on that one, and I'm sorry, I was writing some stuff down whenever you were saying it, but the parking lot and that front facelift, basically?
right, it would be a parking lot, asphalting, putting 4 inches, not 4 inches. And the reason why is because a lot of large trucks turn around in that parking lot, like Bill's Wrecker and stuff. And so we can't really control who turns around. So we kind of want it with a thick amount of asphalt, including putting brick in the front for the facade, painting the ceiling, putting new floors, remodeling the kitchen, new lighting, and putting like a backdrop in the front that would be kind of like a false wall. It would kind of block the entrances to the commercial kitchen and to the bathroom, so people are going in and out, that as doors are open and closed, you really wouldn't see that. It'd be behind like a facade, a backdrop. And so even though this would be an investment, this might be an investment that could give dividends back, because ultimately that building, that center would be more attractive to rent out by the parish. So we'd probably see some of our returns. And ultimately, to do significant improvements to a facility like that, we would probably have to lean on an outside source like a grant.
So that front facade, that's on the outside of the building, or is that on the?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. That's what I thought you were talking about originally. And then the interior, that area that you're talking about there, that's to kind of, it'll be on the interior portion blocking the view back to the outside, to the front, through the front doors, or no?
So when you were at the front, I envisioned all new brick front, all brand new doors. That hallway would all be changed out, and then right before you enter the main entrance, right before you enter the main area, we'd have a new improved archway. Around the main area, we would put like wall coverings, like sheetrock or whatever. The columns would be bricked. The ceiling would be painted probably black. And then there'd be new lighting, because right now, really all there is industrial type lighting. And then the very back, right before you reach the showers and the industrial kitchen, building like a false wall, which would make like a little hallway behind it. And so people entering in and out the kitchen wouldn't interfere. Right now, if the lighting's kind of dim, someone opens the kitchen door, light kind of floods the area back and forth. Same with people going in and out the bathroom. So it would make like a backdrop. And then paving the parking lot.
How detailed of a plan do you have to present to them? Not that,
I think for them, this type of high level is fine. I don't know how deep they get on shovel ready. I mean, we don't per se have engineering plans to go out, but I think we're really close, and we could expedite plans to have that happen pretty quickly.
And I think what Ben had told me was that what may be more important is them learning whether or not the police jury is willing to contribute the match. Is that right?
Right. We don't want to submit this application without understanding that the match, if we were awarded, would be required, and how would we pay for that match. So, we'll be competing with other entities throughout this district for these same funds, and they're only going to pick so many. And so we want something that looks favorable for them. And if we do get lucky enough to be awarded, we don't want to say, well, that we don't have the funds, or, we didn't really anticipate that match. We need to be ready to.
Yeah, one thing I've said for years is we haven't asked Congressman Higgins for money in the past, so I think it would be good to ask and try to get some, because the last time I questioned him about it, he said, if you apply for something, we'll help you get it. And this is one of those grants that hopefully he can help us get. So, then what we were looking at for that project would be to come out of special revenue for the match. And what's in special revenue? Is that correct? That million?
Yeah. In the front page, that's what we have in the bank account and what we have in LAMP, and we pulled those numbers.
And Wayne was asking me that the money that's coming into special revenue is coming from the landfill, which is normally
Correct.
How much a year?
Well, the landfill has a lot of question marks in it. There's talk of reduced disposal, but I would say still safely we would get $600,000 to $800,000 in revenues this year.
you said how much?
600 to 800 probably.
That's what I thought.
And I think that's being conservative.
Right. I think we have like probably 400 plus in liabilities just from lease payments and stuff like that. So. We wouldn't have all that wouldn't be available to spend, because we would have those payments and stuff.
And how much did the event center and fairgrounds generate last year? Over 50, I think.
I I don't know. I'm thinking the multipurpose are in the 20s, 20, 30,000. So I mean, what could it generate if it was really presentable? I don't know, but
Yeah.
I would think at least 50.
I think it's priced right as far as an event center, as for a wedding venue, but it's not pretty enough. I mean, we do have a number of them, but I think if we made it prettier, we would get more events there. And I think this type of renovation, so to speak, would make it, draw people. So,
We've reduced the rates in the last few years, and we substantially have gotten it higher on the rental side.
all right, so that's one of the projects we looked at. You want to move on to the Farm Supply Road?
So Farm Supply Road, the thought process is that this could be a connector road between two major state routes. One's actually a U.S. route, but also serve as a backup evacuation route, hurricane evacuation route. This could be a phase 1 into ultimately possibly a phase 2, where this could potentially get extended all the way down to LA 14, which is Lyons Road, I believe. So, but this particular section is 3 miles. We would like to construct it in a similar fashion as we did to Farm Supply Road on the north side, with two 2-inch overlays of asphalt, giving us 4 inches total, because there's a lot of fertilizer trucks and stuff go to that fertilizer plant, and being that it's be potential grant money, we would want to make a road that was substantial and long lasting. And so kind of basing off the cost for that particular road on the north side, it was like the construction was around 700 something for that mile. We assumed about 800,000 a mile. That total project is $2.9 million. And so in similar fashion, a match would be 585 or nearly 600,000. And so that would be an appropriate place to match that with the road sales tax. And so I have a breakdown of the road sales tax. There's more components to this than the special revenue, but I'll try to break it down so everyone kind of understands. On the left side is basically our money. We have a bank balance. We have some money in LAMP. We have a CDOR at the bank that's maturing in July, and so that gives us a subtotal. And then, assuming another 6 months of earnings, that'll give us our total. And then on the right side, we have we have to do the match money for the Topsy project, around $350,000. We have some engineering and grant management costs, and then we have to pay the last 2 payments of the bond. One's the interest payment, and then the final payment is interest and principal. We typically reserve $1 million for emergency repairs for bridges. I assume $150,000 for the. Not quite sure where we're at on Potter Road. We should know something really soon on whether or not we can use those rail car in lieu of the bridge. If we go the match route, the $585,000, and on the agenda today is to move forward with an overlay project. So, and even if that overlay project gets modified, or if it stays like it is, ultimately the goal is to do an overlay project, let it this year. That would be our total. So we didn't want to cut it too close.
I think what about 1.3, something like that, bro?
Thereabouts, yeah. A little over 1.3.
So a little less, right. So it looks like it's doable for either route.
Yeah, so the thought process on that Farm Supply Road, like Ben was saying, if you go down the Lyons Road, it ties into 14, and Farm Supply goes all the way up to 102, yeah, up there. So basically, you know, I think at some point, that would be a good alternate evacuation route for the Lake Arthur, Thornwell area to get them that far north. Is it right for this project? I don't know. It's a lot of money. I think we could get those funds through some other type of grant.
And you have a business there as well.
Right, right.
Should help.
So we would be paving from where to where?
US 9 to 1126.
Yeah, 90 to 1126 for this go-round.
Yeah.
That's if we get, yeah.
Do you know how much traffic we have on the Farm Supply Road?
There's a lot.
A lot during fertilizer season.
I ain't gonna lie.
Big farm equipment?
Yep.
There's farm equipment, there's a ton of trucks that go to that plant, and just in general, Bill, they're cutting across from 1126 to, exactly.
So, anybody got any thoughts on those two projects? Corey, start with you.
You know, either one's gonna benefit us. My question, Dan, is which one do you think we have a better chance of getting the money for? I want to submit a project they're gonna fund. Not a project they're not gonna fund, then we're screwed out of money for both of them. So which one do you think we have a better chance of getting approved?
Well, I think I'm gonna say something good about both of them. I think the event center, there's a lot I could point to for community support. I could use stuff from our social media. I think Farm Supply Road, I could justify being way more shovel ready. Because basically we have the engineering design from the north side of the road. We're gonna do the same engineering design basically for the south side of the road. There's not a lot of big surprises there. I mean, in all honesty, the event center, you know, the backdrop probably, if y'all would want to put like a false backdrop, would probably have to be submitted to the fire marshal's office for.
Doesn't, I mean, this is, I don't have a, on 1126, where it hits Farm Supply, isn't it low back there? Doesn't it flood?
There's a,
No?
yeah.
Seemed like one time I passed through 1126 and I looked north after a flood and they had water standing on that road.
It's outside, didn't it?
Yeah, both sides. You've got flood there, and you also have flood at Highway 90. So we'd have to elevate both of them. I mean, I do think that's a worthwhile project. My concern is, I think we have potential for going over budget on that section, where I think we can kind of contain our expenses at the or the event center easier than we can on that road. I mean, I think it's something we need to do, Farm Supply, all the way from actually Lyons Road and Farm Supply, from 14 to the 102 connection.
How far does 102 go down towards Lake Arthur?
No, 102 is going to cut across at Pine Island. So basically what you're doing is you're trying to divert traffic from Highway 26 out of Lake Arthur and move it over to Farm Supply to get them up there, and then they can join back up or head a different direction, you know.
From Highway 14 to Lyons Road, that's what, 2-3 miles already blacktop? 2 miles?
Part of it is, part of it's from 14 to,
Almost to Roche Road?
yeah, so a mile.
Already done.
Yeah. I just think it's a good connection, you know.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but to me, the event center, one of the benefits to potentially getting the work or getting the job or the funds is that it seems like it signals more of a parish need than just another road. That's because everyone's, you know,
Yeah.
paving roads. This is kind of it shows the, you know, it's not Cassie, who is it you said?
Higgins.
That there's an actual need here that needs to be, you know, something needs to be fixed. But
All right. Marcus, you got any, got a
No, I
preference?
just was thinking along the same thing with been mentioned, the 2 shelters, as we know, that's coming. And I think that would get their attention more easily. It would get the attention quicker. As knowing that we use it for the temporary shelter, these different, event, weather event
Warm
situations.
shelves, yeah.
I think that would get their attention a little bit quicker.
So is that part of this, Ben, when you talk about the event center? You put that it is a warming shelter and some of these renovations would be necessary for us to
Well,
continue
we'd,
that?
we'd include
Or are
that,
we selling it more as, it's a community-based event center that we need to renovate?
kitchen and everything.
Right. See, because you're talking about kitchen and lighting and flooring, I mean, that's all necessary things you need when you're having it as a shelter. So I didn't know if we were selling it as, we're renovating our emergency shelter, or are we renovating our event center?
I think a combination of both.
That's what I said,
I think it's
combination of
both.
So
I
like I
think.
said, how are we selling it? Then we can just sell it the right way.
More the merrier.
I think we'd benefit better with the event center. That's my personal opinion. Like Marcus says, we've
Mr. Woods, Chad Woods,
No, I agree, look,
Wood,
Yeah.
Event
So-
Center.
event center, yeah.
I'd entertain a motion to move forward with the event center, proposal to Clay Higgins' office using the special revenue as the match funds.
All right, got a
Do I have that motion?
motion by Mr. Eastman, second by
Well, no, it'd
Mr.
be Mr. Frugier,
I'll make the motion.
You made the motion, okay.
and then seconded by Mr.,
I'm not on committee.
There you go.
I am.
all right,
I'll second.
seconded by
No,
Ms.
you're
Mars.
We just sitting there.
It looks like it.
All right, all in favor? Yeah, Ms. Mars, yeah.
Got a second?
Yeah, we got a second.
All in favor?
I guess.
If we have the farm supply project already
Who seconded
done
this
in
here?
a filing
Corey.
cabinet,
Corey did.
then
I
next
made the
time we have
motion,
another
Corey seconded.
opportunity to get some money, we can have it on the shelf ready to go.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposition? All right, motion carries. So then that'll be presented at the agenda meeting to be voted on tonight, Mr. President.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion for economic development? This is our first meeting, so we,
The long
yeah, we didn't have well, actually, we had this one pressing thing. I think in the future, we'll discuss those economic development districts that we have along the interstate. And we need to work on that.
How soon do we know?
Before we close the meeting,
It's due March
I
9th. Any
got
idea?
something, I guess. for
That's a good
economic
question. I don't know.
development In Lacassine, where that service road turns to that new truck stop, there's poles there, but there's no lighting. And they requested to have lighting, so I told them I'd bring it up. I know we have, through the state DOTD, you have to get a permit, but I don't know who's required to pay the bill.
Yeah, so you're talking at the intersection?
The wheels are turning.
Right there off of 102, when it hits the service road, to turn to go to,
101.
101.
101,
101.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
Stuck on 102.
yeah.
Ben, wouldn't DOTD pay for those?
That was a big.
To widen that turnout?
No, they're asking for
Lighting.
at that intersection.
Poles are there. There's no light.
So, unless things significantly changed since I left, DOT is 100% clear they did not pay for lighting. They have lighting grants, it probably take up to 3 years, where they'll pay 90% of the installation cost, they'll handle all the engineering, and the locals pay 10%, and then the locals are responsible for the electrical bill and maintenance from then on forward, and you have to sign an agreement stating you will do that. So it is it's one of those things where it's a one-time fee that puts a reoccurring cost on your budget. So it's, should be considered heavily before.
So what you say in public, that would be the jury, or would that be the owner of the station?
No, it would be us. I mean, it would be like the lights that we have in Roanoke.
Right.
We have some in Lacassine.
Like the
as well.
interchange lighting, right.
Well, but I don't think they're not asking for interchange lighting. They're not asking for the interstate interchange. They're asking for the frontage road connection at 101.
Right. So, that could possibly be handled with lighting that Energy secures on their existing poles or something like that, could be, low level, low cost. But ultimately, the police jury would be responsible for the maintenance, the monthly
They
fee.
couldn't pay that with their 2% if they got into it.
I mean, they wouldn't pay it, we would. I mean, we could use the funds that are generated from that economic development district to pay for those,
I think so, yes.
you know? So, I mean, if you could take a look at that intersection and see what's available there pole-wise and what
What the cost of it.
the cost is and what
There's
energy.
several poles all along that curve when it comes off of 101.
Yeah, because, you know, I don't think it would be, it's not going to be metered lights. It's going to be, you know, $45 a month per light or whatever, you know, so.
Highway 383, where I put it with the school bus entrance to the, it was about $4,000 to set it up, and I think it's $95 a month per light.
Yeah. So that's north of Iowa?
383 at the, modern one at the subdivision.
Yeah.
Because the school bus don't go, Jeff Davis don't go down there. I mean, she don't go down in our parish.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, y'all take a look and see what it would take to get it there, and then we'll look at the cost, and then we can see what we're earning from the taxes. And, you know, we've got some more growth happening in the area, so we'll see. We do need to reconvene and look at those economic development districts and see, because we've had some discussion about kind of expanding them so to take in some of those businesses that are there, so. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, motion to adjourn, Ms. Marsh?